If gummy bears and gummy worms are to scale, it's the gummy world is a terrifying place.
Yeah, the worms would be really big.
That's correct.
This is a DM5 style open under the gun. It seems loose. It's not loose at all for DM5. He would open a lot worse hands.
Yeah. Mavon coming off of a 3-bet in the last hand, picks up aces this time against the stickiest player, I would say, at the table.
Yeah, but
Blake
DM5
is pretty
knows
sticky
this hand is a trouble hand in this situation, I think. I imagine he'll find a fold.
Let's see. He does like to call a lot.
Oh, man. That's
I mean,
just not a very good call.
DM5 calls with like way worse hands for almost this much money all the time.
But situationally, this is just a very bad hand to have.
Sure. Well, he picks up a gutter to go with his
Yeah,
overs.
this is the type of board that he might raise if Matt Vaughn continues.
Let's see if Matt Vaughn does continue. DM5's hand is a little bit defined because he called the 3-bet, but DM5 less so than most. And I like this check back.
I think this is a good board-based check back. That's a great card for Matt Vaughn. DM5 could have hit a king, first of all, and of course, Matt picks up the nut flush draw.
Not a great card for DM5 here, although he is going to take a shot with his
I don't know
gutter.
if this is a shot-taken card here. Matt Vaughn has a lot of ace-king in his range that checks back the flop.
He doesn't have almost any flushes in his range, though. And
that's
so
good.
That's a reason for DM5 to take a shot here. Turns out Matt does have the ace of hearts in his hand, but very rarely is he going to have ace-x of hearts here since he didn't bet the flop. Matt has an easy call, of course.
If the deuce of spades comes on the river and DM5 bets again, Matt's going to have an interesting decision between calling and raising.
Well,
ooh, instead DM5 somehow has the best hand. This is absurd.
It is a crazy 3-outer. Just a crazy 3-outer to come. Well, Matt, I don't think it was going to be really hard for you to find a way to win this pot, at least. That's the good news.
It's possible he could win with a raise, but I don't think he's going to go for that.
I don't know why he would.
This board texture.
He's beating King X. He's beating King Queen and things like that.
Do you think DM5 is betting King Queen?
Oh, not on this board. You're right. Not on this board. DM5 is really representing a straight or better here when he bets again.
He could have a set, I suppose.
I guess. I don't expect Matt to raise, but you're right. He could raise. Could take a shot.
It wouldn't be a great story because of the flop check.
Exactly.
He decides to call because of the opponent, I think. DM5 being a guy who has a lot of moves.
Oh, and Matt cannot help but show the aces.
Oh,
a little bit of tilt there, eh, Matt?
Spiteful, bitter vlogger.
Yeah.
Like 30 hands.
Yeah, 30, 35 hands.
Yeah.
22 something.
Great word.
Here's Stewart's PFR going up right now.
Nope.
Oh, he limped.
Wrong again.
What the hell? I don't think I've ever seen Stewart limp.
Stewart may just think he can't get it raised through. And
Open
instead,
limp, that is.
Yeah. Instead, he's just deciding to manage the pot and try and win him. Try and just flop a set. There's only one deuce left in the deck, though. It's going to be tough to do it. But all the more glorious when he does it, of course, when he succeeds. Everyone calls. Mostly reasonable hands here. Digital Dan somehow is the worst of it, even though he's the pre-flop raiser. Good flop for Stewart, sort of.
I mean, it's okay. He's not super comfortable when a 3 comes.
That's true. Also, you know, if Dan bets, Dan's got overpairs and things like that. Hey, it's the 7 of hearts. That's a good card for the digital one.
Yep. It's hard for him to rep too many straights.
He's going to have to rep like 2 8s that didn't bet the flop.
Yeah, that's tough for him to rep. I guess maybe you could have like ace-8 suited.
So Stewart is maybe, I guess he's protecting his equity.
Yeah, I think that's mostly what he's doing. It seems unlikely that anybody has a pair.
Yeah.
Because a 7 likely would have bet the flop, and any pair would have likely bet the flop for most positions at least.
Yeah, Dan almost never has pocket 8s here, for
Right.
example. Expect him to have bet the flop there.
Dan does call with his flush draw and gets there.
Wow, and there's a straight on the board
Straight on
now.
the board, so Stewart might convince himself that Dan's trying to get him off of a chop.
It's weird, though, to try and think of what does Dan have that he checked the flop, called the turn with, and will be betting the river with.
It seems like an 8 or better most of the time.
Stewart might be thinking about bluffing this river to try and get Dan off of a chop, though.
He might.
Yep,
Flush draw does make plenty of sense, though, for Dan at the way he played it.
I know.
It's
Stewart's going to bet.
And I don't think it's going to work. I think.
I mean, Dan's not going to fold. I know
he's just
that.
considering raising, but I don't think he's going to conclude that there's any value in raising. It's possible that Stewart could have something like 8 jack of hearts, I guess.
6-4 hearts isn't good for Dan for him to have anyway. 6-8 of hearts. Jack 9 of hearts. It's hard. Stuart limped under the gun. Looks
Yeah.
like just in case Dan's gonna. Guess there's like King Jack of hearts
Yeah.
in there somehow. But Stuart is almost never gonna limp with that hand. It is problematic. Maybe if Stuart somehow has 2-8s himself, he may feel like he's
gonna
can get some calls.
I don't know.
I mean, that's what you're going for, right?
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm trying to act like I'm. I like to call a little too much, so when you call for $900 on the river versus 55, you know, big savings, or not.
Yeah. Or you're
It's basically like, you know, Hasbro,
25 was too good of a price for.
the makers of Mr. Potato Head.
Mm-hmm.
They
And how
steal.
is it-
They steal from you.
Okay.
They put that spy in your home. It's basically Big Brother.
Yep.
Big Brother.
You have really compelling points.
Thanks. Top pair for BMW, Blake. DM5 with, I don't think he's folding with the straight draw and the backdoor nut flush draw and the overcard.
Stuart has an open ender, but it's a bad open ender on this board.
Yeah, he's going to call once, but he knows a 10 cannot be that great for him. Turns out it would be fine, but can't be loving a 10.
And of course, if he hits any sort of club straight, not happy with that either.
Yeah. This is a card that should scare everybody a little bit.
Yep.
Blake can't really reasonably bet it. Stuart or DM5 could take a shot right now, though. I kind of like DM5.
I think DM5 should absolutely take a
Yeah.
shot here. He can rep a 9 very well.
He has 9s in his range completely. He's the kind of hand that would love everyone to fold. He has equity when called. Blake, of course, never going to fold with this.
No,
hand.
way too good of a hand.
This is a little unlucky for DM5 that Blake had as good a hand as he did.
What's up?
I'd like to see if he bluffs the river, what Blake does.
I'm going to guess Blake will find a lot of calls.
The
It is a
club comes
club,
in, so
and
DM5 can now rep clubs as well.
They both have a big club in their hand.
Okay.
So that could give Blake a reason to call a little bit more, assuming DM5 does bluff. It looks like he's going to.
And this is targeting a queen, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Blake does not like to fold to DM5 and insta call.
3, 4.
DM5 not going to be happy about it.
He finally got looked up. Doesn't happen quite often enough, it seems.
Yeah. I like how Blake played
Yeah,
that.
Blake played that well.
I like the check call on the turn, and then it's not a great spot, but that's the guy you want to be calling, and you do have the king of clubs in your hand, so you block some of the
Yeah.
most obvious flush draws. I think DM5 probably would bet trip 9s again on the river when he heads up there, but so be it.